Hello, this is Tommy TK4 here. Today I'm going to be playing Front Office Football 8. Um, I'm a big fan of this game, this series in general. Um, Front Office Football 8, you can get it on Steam. I think it's $29.99. It's the most realistic football gaming experience you could get out there. Nothing better you can play for trying to get the most realistic, gaming experience possible when it comes to football. There's, Madden's the closest thing to it, but it fails on a lot of aspects, and Access is the other best option. But when it comes to PC gaming, with football, this is the best option you got. Yep, I'm going to be doing a playthrough of this, where I'm going to be playing, I do believe, as the Eagles. The Eagles, I feel like, are a good option. They got Carson Wentz, a strong, rookie, so we'll see either here in a second what I choose. But so this is, once again, Front Office Football 8. They've made games for a while now, and it's a football simulation. They simulate the real game, and they do a pretty good job at it. It's not perfect, but I think that they do all right. There are problems though with the game as it goes on, but I'll tell you guys later once that happens. But so, if you guys are new to the game, which I'm sure so you guys are, because most of the people play Madden. Some people play this game. I've seen even though it's a small community, it's a pretty good community. So let's just jump right to it, shall we? So when you open the game, you are here. You just want to go ahead and start a new game right away. So I played this game quite a bit. Not the best at it, but I'm alright. I know quite a decent amount about football. Not an insane amount, but I know a little bit. So I've in this game I've won the Super Bowl in the game before. It is hard, in my opinion, but I've only won one. I've won another one doing tests and stuff, but it's hard. So I'm going to be doing a playthrough of it. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's get right into it. So, first thing you want to do when you start up the game, Front Office Football 8, once again on Steam, $29.99. You want to go ahead and go to the settings, which are here. Where are the settings? Controls. And you want to go ahead and change the names of each team to their, obviously respective names. Because the game, obviously, to avoid getting sued by EA, they had have each names of the teams that are different, so they let you change them, which is pretty cool. So you can go ahead and do that. Controls, edit franchise names. You can also change a few other stuff, but you won't really need to change any of this. You can change single player options. I'd just say leave the rest of it alone. Most important thing to do is just change the team names, and it makes it feel more realistic. So let's just get right into it, shall we? So you want to click new game right here, and then you want to enter a name. Let's just enter TK4, and now you have to choose your team. And today I had Eagles selected because I plan on choosing them. But let's see, are there any other good teams to pick? I don't want to pick the best teams. I want to pick an average team. So of course Eagles, I like that a lot. Buccaneers, I'm a big fan of the Buccaneers. Let's go with the Eagles. And you are presented with 3 options: begin with the complete draft, begin with the preference draft, and then begin without draft. You want to do begin without draft because it's just like in Madden. If you choose the draft option in Madden, and I'm more speaking to the Madden players, if you do a draft, then it just does the 32 team draft for every single player in the league. You don't really want to do that. And it tells you right here as well, it will draft automatically, and then you can begin with the complete draft where you can do that yourself. Begin without draft, and then all the options are all to be selected like this. I'd say just this is good. I think this is how it comes with it, and it's the most realistic. Let's click submit. League ID. Alright, now so we are given a lot of options here. And also this first episode is going to be more like an intro to the game. If you're not familiar with it, you can get to know it a little bit better. And I'll teach you guys a few things I know a little bit, but not it. I played the game a lot, but we'll see. We'll see what I can teach you guys. So let's just save right here. Of course, your options: new game, open, save as, multiplayer options. And now this is where it's the meat of the game right here. The roster. This is the roster of your team, and you're presented, of course, with a few different options: standard view, contract, personality. The only ones you really care about are scout and injury. That's really it. Injury is important to obviously see your injuries throughout the season, because unlike Madden, the injuries in this game are realistic, or make more sense. So injuries can happen to any player. They can happen, of course, any time of the, like they can happen during any game. Any player can get hurt. Some on, a week or two, and they can even get colds, or something, a headache or something like that, and miss a game. It's realistic with that, but of course, and it tells us a couple other things up here too in the roster screen here. Total under contract, very important number. During preseason or training camp, you're allowed to have up to 60 players. Or actually, I think you could have as much as you want before you play the first game. You can probably have as much as you want. Just when you play your first game, you have to have 60 players on the roster. And then inactive, no matter what, you have to have a certain amount inactive to to make it active. Like, so if you need to have, I think it's 47 that's 46, that's right, 46 active. That means you need to deactivate and make players inactive to make it make sense. So I'll show you guys a little bit more, because obviously because if I'm mainly talking about the Madden players out there who are looking for a realistic experience, just like real life. I'm sure you've heard about players being activated, deactivated, and this is just like that as well. If a player gets injured, let's say a quarterback, let's say Carson Wentz goes down, you usually want to have a quarterback inactive. I usually like to do that. If you have 3 quarterbacks, make one inactive, because he's not going to get any starting time. So you make him inactive, and you see right there he's inactive, and it added 153. And you want to go throughout your entire team. Of course, it's a little bit more once I get to the preseason. So let's just wait on that. What else is there? Player attributes. This doesn't really matter. Print, position distribution. This is important. If you're new to football, this is a very important screen, because it gives you a general idea about the players you need to have on your roster, right? You need to have a certain amount of players to fill each quota. Quarterback, you need to have 2. Having 3 is a bonus. You've seen that in the NFL. Where teams are required to have 2 quarterbacks, but some have 3. Every position group has a certain amount that they need to have. So you just got to fill that. If you don't fill the distribution correctly, then it'll show up red down here, and it won't let you play a game. So it's very important to get that situated and whatnot, and figure out the players you want on your roster. And generally, when it comes to that, the players you want on your roster, right? Quarterback, a third quarterback isn't necessary, especially if you have a good one. I have Carson Wentz, so Aaron Murray, he is unnecessary to the team. He's just taking up a roster spot that can be given to a running back or a corner, especially corner. Corner is huge, and because corners in the game are really, really hard to get. They are hard in terms of building depth around. Linebackers easy. Defensive line is pretty easy to build depth around, but corner is hard. So valuing position groups such as corner or safety is very important. Except in the game, they tend to favor, having a good offense, like having good running backs. And I've noticed that when playing longer in a franchise, like if I go 6 or 7 years, it's really hard to find a good running back. Like, it's weird how it works. Like, if I, sign a running back, I could sign one for like 40 million, like an average one. It's a little ridiculous with that, and it's hard to find one to draft as well, and even in the first round. So running backs could be really hard. The running back market in the game later on is really hard because they're they're important to have. If you have a good running back, it's just like real life. You could pound the ball. It's very efficient. If you have a good passing game, running game, same thing. Of course, it's a lot of it's based on real life. It's all based on real life. To where to have a good efficient offense, you need both sides of the offense to work. You need the offense and you need the quarterback, the running back, and of course, good blocking up front to be successful. And you've even seen that with the Dallas Cowboys, right? Their offense was very efficient last year. Had a good passing game, good running game, and that's very important for an offense. And for defense, I've noticed the best kind of defense to have is a 3-4. A 3-4 is the best I found. If I go 4-3, it's really hard to play good defense. If you have a 3-4 in the game, you are dominant because linebackers are super easy to draft. And I'll show you when I play more games and get deeper in the series, I'll show you guys it is easier to draft linebackers. They are really easy to get, and they are higher overall. Like, you'll find a bunch of guys that are in the 70s that are linebackers in the draft. And so you can build a really good linebacking core there, and have good backups as well. I tell you, depth between in linebackers is really, really good. Same for safeties. The depth for safeties is pretty good too, but we already have some good safeties here. Malcolm Jenkins is getting up there in age though. How old is he? 28. So we could be looking to get another safety, but I'm more worried about another corner. It's important. Linebacker, very much important. Our nose tackle is Fletcher Cox is really good. Look at our ends. Our D-line is incredible, which is nice. Since once again 3-4, we need as much pressure as possible. Deliver on the quarterback. Of course, our long snapper 0. Yep, I know who's getting cut right away. Actually, and I could actually show you guys that now. So actually, since we only have like 12 minutes left in the video, let's just go. I'm gonna show you guys everything else first before I do anything. But actually, what else is there? Team cap. This isn't really important. It just tells you needs around the league. Cap room, not very important at all. And I recommend, this is where you sign free agents, and they give you a lot of cool tools to search for specific players. So let's say I want a center that has good pass protection and that is a young center. Let's say just for backup depth. Free agents, you can select how much he wants, the salary range, and it gives you a good amount. And it shows you the current rating that is projected, and this is based on your scouts. Your staff, not your scouts. Your staff will essentially give you ratings, and I've noticed this too. If you have really good staff, then they'll be more accurate with the ratings. That's what I've noticed. I don't know if that's 100% true. I think so. I think that's how it works. If I have insanely good staff that is good to get with young talent, and then I get young talent on the team, then they become are projected to be a higher rating. So you see, and right here, all rookies, once again, all that is 100% good. So what else is there? Now this is trading. Trading in the game is trading what you would expect. It can be a little hard sometimes to trade players because teams are very specific in what they want. If you have trying to trade a player that has a large contract and that's even like really good, they won't take him even if he's really good. And you could find someone that has a lot of salary, that has cap room, that has a ton of cap room, and they will not take the player even if he's incredibly good, and you offer like if they, you make them give you like a higher end draft pick, or lower end, I guess you'd say, like a 4th, 5th, or 6th or whatever for a really good player, they won't take it. And it's a little dumb. Trading can be sometimes, but sometimes it can work out really well. You can get the players you want, and that's trading right here. And then this is, so this is a simulation right here. There's a better screen to get to that I like to use, or is that the one? No, okay, that's the one. Yeah, right here, simulate game. Only your team, never always. That's just basic stuff here. email. This doesn't matter at all. Don't worry about it. The emails are pretty bad. And then here we go. We have this little screen here, which has a bunch of little screens, I guess, you know, you'd say, to click. Game day. And yeah, before we start training camp and whatnot, we could do a few things. So we get to create our playbook right here, and you could sit around and play with this for a while, but I just like to generate and let the game do that itself. It takes way too long to do that, you know. So you go ahead and you generate 100 plays. You could generate up to, I think, 200 plays, possibly 150, something like that. And yeah, so you can choose the quarterback you want to base it around. I would do Carson Wentz, but this year specifically, Chase Daniels is going to start because he's the better option. Shows you offensive coordinators as well. So this is, of course, who bases the offense around. So there we go. There's the offensive playbook. What else is there? Let's see, what was I was looking at planning. Oh yeah, I created the playbook, and here's, you can look at your staff. So let's go ahead, click this, click right here, team, and then scroll down right here. That's the best way to find it. They don't just take you to your team staff right away, which is a little annoying, but right here it shows staff, head coach, offensive coordinator, assistant, strength, defensive. You know, you can look at the stats of each of your coaches, you know, player development. Each player has, you know, stats, obviously, you know, that make a player good or bad, you know. And there are certain areas you could build around to make your team really efficient, you know. So right there, playbook limit 65, experience 0. Who is Cole Brewer? Once again, we'll see. There's a staff draft at the end. You can see right here. Oh yeah, I forgot to also show you guys this screen. But you see, there's a staff draft which you could select a better staff at. You know, if you don't like the staff, and I usually pick completely new staff members. You know, usually anyone there is better than the staff you have, but it doesn't really. You know, it depends. You know, what type of offense, defense, whatever you're trying to build. You know, you get select the staff member that you like, you know, the best. Right here, obviously, just basic stuff: standings, schedules, chronicle. You can just look at certain stuff. This stuff doesn't really matter. Now, this is important. Injury report as well. Now, this is injury around the league, I guess, if you want to look at that, to give you a better understanding of, you know, the type of players that get injured, how often they get hurt. What else? Transaction log. I use this a lot because in the off season, players can retire, and then it'll show up here. It'll show up here. You know, you obviously just click team, and then go to your team. I don't have any here yet because I didn't do anything, but it shows you all the transactions. And this is once again important to look at the players that retired, because I've sometimes looked after the end of the season, looked at my team and noticed players missing. So I'm like, oh, where did they go? And then just, you know, come to find out they retire. So once again, this is all just stuff you can look at for fun. Doesn't really matter. And then this, the almanac, is really cool. This is one of my favorite screens to look at. And here you can look at all the statistics from your team. Individual statistics. I look at these a lot. Career statistics. Did I say team? No, team right here. It shows you. And then team summary. This is my favorite screen to look at by far. It shows everything about your team. The rank, you know, shows rushes, passes, pass rush, pass defense, turnovers. It shows, of course, your quarterback here, you know, in terms of passing, touchdowns, receptions, rating, yards, you know, all that stuff, rushing, receiving, defense. It shows everything. I love this screen the most. It's team summary. I check it all the time. And this is also a good screen to look at what you need to improve on, right? And so this is all your offensive statistics, or well, I guess team statistics. So like up here in pass is offense, and down below to right here is defense. And it, you know, this can help you improve as well. And then when it comes to opponents right here, so this is the rank you are when it comes to your opponent. So let's say, you know, you're first in rushes per game. That means you are the best at allowing the fewest rushes per game. Same with all these. Turnovers. If you are first in turnovers, that means you first the most turnovers. Points per game, first. Then you are, you know, you allow the fewest points per game. So, a team summary is very good, useful screen to look at. What else is there? That's pretty much it for that. What else was there? Oh yeah, I guess I'll show you. So I still got a few minutes left. I want to try to make the video at least 26, 27 minutes, something like that. So I guess I might as well just show you guys. Oh yeah, I guess attitude advisory, right? This is important. Here you can look at players if they're content, if they, you know, have a problem or something, red flag, you know, for a player. And this is if they're causing problems, you know, if they want a larger contract, they might hold out. If they got suspended, if they, you know, got, you know, something like, you know, anything. A lot of stuff can happen, which is pretty cool. So, I guess I might as well just show you guys how to, you know, no, let's just do training. Let's see, I want to look at all the young talent first and make decisions like that. So, might as well just spend the rest of the video then just showing you guys how to cut players, how to look at the player screens. So right here, when you click a player in the roster menu, it shows all of the stats for the player, all of them, and there's a lot. Health, you know, it shows their combined stats, developed, loyalty, you know, all that stuff. And then left side, you know, size, experience, born, blah blah blah, player status right here. And this could tell you, this screen tells you really a lot about if a player is wanting more money to hold out. It tells you right here, like, the reason why he's holding out. It tells you other stuff as well. If, like, he got injured, you can look here about what happened exactly. And there's more statistics you can also, you know, of course, look at here. And then here's the scouting report. Once again, this is based on your staff's rating on the player. And my staff are like, nope, this long snapper is bad. He's terrible. So, let's see what else is there. Right here, deactivate injured reserve, obviously, to put a player on injured reserve, and then you can bring another player to the team. Release player, franchise, weight training, interview, change position, change number, blah blah blah. So if we're gonna go ahead and release him, how much? Let's see how much it's gonna cost. If you release this, and yeah, right here it tells you how much it's gonna cost for the season this year and then next year. And a great way to look at that is right here. Lost cap next year, lost cap room this year, next year. It shows cap used next year, so 153 million, which is not good. That means, you know, we've used a ton of it. So we need to, because obviously, you know, we got a ton of big players that we have, a lot of big players actually, if you take a look. 70s, we have like 6 players, or 5. 5 players 70 and above. So, you know, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna release our long snapper. He's bad, and also he's not gonna cost us any cap next year. So that's really important to know. Only 100,000 this year, which we can afford, because we're not signing any other big players, so we might as well do it. Boom. So cap room 100,000 this year, and then we need to go ahead and sign a long snapper then. Position, long snappers at the very bottom. And I'm not going to bother with experience. It doesn't matter. Just want to sign the best one. Best one's a rookie. And this guy right here, Brandon Scoville. Right here. Oh yeah, I forgot. Need to show you guys. So you just go ahead and click the name. Offer contract. Right here. Submit. And then here you can change it up. Signing bonus this season. You know, all that stuff. Sign the player, yes. And then there you go. He's on your team. And also you can see the scouting report changes too. How it said he was at 22 and he's at 21 on our team. And that can change once again. It's based on your staff. So the better staff we get, the more accurate and stuff it'll be with that. And at least that's, I think that's how it works. It's based a lot on staff, I know that. you know, it makes sense. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys watch the second video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.